morning.
Morning,
Or
morning, morning.
good evening for you.
Yeah. How are you doing? How are you going?
Yeah, no, all good, thanks. And how you doing writing some stuff about Oceania? Where did you start?
So basically, I just got into Oceania football because of I like the country of New Zealand. Then obviously the football as well. Then it kind of developed. Let me see other countries. Then obviously I was watching the OFC Champions League. Then you came up. I read about your stories as well, like in Solomon Islands, and in my opinion, I feel like you were like the pioneer of like cultures abroad coming to the Oceania. That's in my opinion, and
Yeah,
also like the start of like South American players coming there as well, because you bring some Brazilian players. And I thought, wow, I never seen that in the Oceania. So I feel like you're like the start of it, like the full pioneer of this as well.
yeah, it's true. We had in the past before me, we had one or other player around, but with this project in specifically in Solomon Islands, I was as the first one as a head coach and bringing some Brazilians and creating a football culture. Yeah, the club. Yeah, it was the first time. Yeah, you're right.
And
So
it's just your story, your knowledge. How did you get into the Oceania football? Just like that, just basically simple like that.
Yeah. So yeah, as you know, I'm Brazilian. Basically, pretty much full of my education came from Brazil as a degree, as a post degree, and doing a work in Brazil. At first, I was a PE teacher.
Okay.
I was a player before that. My young age until 20 when it came to a professional player, and then I got to university, start study over there, because Brazil is like in Europe, like you have two different ways to be a coach, or you retire as a professional player and follow their way, doing some coach, or you from young age you get involved in professional environment, professional clubs, and doing your degree, do your studies in their way, in that academic way.
Yeah.
So I follow that way in terms of academic. So working in a professional club and doing my studies, finish my degree, then my post degree, and then I left to come to New Zealand. As a friend invited me to come to New Zealand to do some work in futsal.
Okay.
So then I came to New Zealand. I started 2011. I do some work here in Auckland. Have you been to New Zealand or not?
Never. I would love to visit one day. To go there.
So New Zealand is Auckland. Auckland is the biggest city in the country. And then I was doing some work over there. Then a guy from Confederation, from OFC, came and saw my job and was following my work over there. Then he came to have a chat, and then he gave me a proposal for me to go to the Solomon Islands for a couple weeks to prepare the national team to go to the World Cup in Thailand that time. That was 2012. So then, that was my first small project with them. So I went there, and then they really enjoy. We engage very well. They really like my work with them, and the federation invited me to follow them. They said, "Oh, we need you in the World Cup."
Okay.
So then they gave me a proposal. Then I accepted. I went to Thailand with them. We did a tour in Europe, in Spain, for preparation. And then after that, so that was just for the tournament. After that, and then just to be in the World Cup, my name started getting around, and then a guy from China offered me a contract. So I left New Zealand, went to China, worked for a season. So then I left China, Australia for a couple of years. Then we had a sponsor for the national team in Solomon Islands. So the same person, he offered me a position to develop a football club in Solomon Islands.
Yeah.
So then I accepted. It was 3 years contract, for 3 years plan. Mm-hmm. And then I went there, and then I started a big journey in Solomon Islands. So then my first year, I just had a local players. It's a club, a very traditional club there, but they work with young players, but they play National League in Solomon Islands. So then I started my work over there. My first year, we just finished behind the two big clubs over there. And then the second year we won the National League in Solomon Islands. Then we qualified to the Champions League here in OFC. So that came for the project for me to start to bring some foreign players. For my second year, I had some players from Papua New Guinea, and then I had 3 Brazilian players that came. So they played the Champions League, and then the year after was my last year, my third year. So we qualify again. So that time the Brazilian players stay in Solomon, living there to play the National League. We qualify again, but that stage our club was very organized. We had the gym, we had the football field. We built by our own hands. I used to drive a truck my first year, collect the players, put the back of the truck, and take to the field. Yeah, it's this kind of environment. And we had all the training start at the same time, the right time, finish the right time, drive the truck back, deliver the players every day. And we had then we built a field, we built a gym, we had the uniform, like we start to create like a professional environment, and the players love that. So the club, when I got there, the club was very small, and we didn't have any player for the national team. My second and third year, we had 12 players from our group playing for national team in Solomon Islands. Wow. So it was a very successful story. The only thing that my third year, we qualified for the Champions League. We went to the Champions League. I couldn't take the team at the time. Because of personal reasons, my wife got pregnant. She needs to come to New Zealand to have a baby. I follow my family. But when I left, my assistant coach took the team for the Champions League, and they lost the semi-final. So the project was 3 years for us to win the Champions League, but unfortunately, the last step I couldn't follow the team. They lost semi-final. We had a very strong environment for us to be in the final that year. But it's okay. It was a very lovely project. The players absolutely loved. And after that, some players went to playing here in New Zealand. Some players went to Fiji. So they started to go into different countries because the success project we had. So after that, then I went to New Caledonia. It's another country here in the Pacific. It's a French country. As a national coach there as well. So then it was a small project, but then supposed to be a big project, but then the pandemic happened. I came back to New Zealand, and then I couldn't fly out anymore. So now I'm working in a professional in a football club here in New Zealand. Doing a project looking after all the development part of the club. Juniors, seniors. I'm the head coach of the senior team, and like pretty much now. And I'm doing some work for OFC, weekly work to prepare. I'm responsible to prepare coaches to have a license here in the countries, in the Pacific countries. 2014, after my work with Solomon Islands, 2014 OFC nominate me as an instructor. So I was doing courses, and then FIFA. After that, FIFA nominated me in 2014 as well, nominated me as an instructor. So I'm a FIFA and OFC instructor. So I deliver courses as well, preparing coaches in the Pacific. So, so after that, so my name is getting more popular around. But I'm still working in football here. I want to develop more my reputation in football. I want to be in Champions League again. I want to keep going in football here and try to be success here. But in the this is for my small project. For my long-term project, definitely I would like to explore and have a chance, opportunity in different countries as well.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw like on your page like a documentary about your time at Marist FC in Solomon Islands, and you showed like when you first came to the club and how the players was living, also the mentality of the players as well. And when you show like the pictures where they were living, that it was like shocking and scary to me where they were living. Like they were living under, like, how can I say it, like, I can't describe it, but they were living like something like a metal thing was just basically covering them, basically, and everything was pitch black. Like you could set a fire to it, it would be gone, and that was heartbreaking when I saw that. And like, and the things what you done there, you changed it, like you build it from your hands, basically.
That was if you see the environment, man, it's like it's hard not to get touched. It's hard not doing your best to help them, because if you see their conditions, is like you said, is heartbreaking. That's exactly like that, exactly the environment. I have so many photos and videos, and it's quite, some areas is very primitive. No electricity, no water. It's very, they still living from the land. It's very hot island. So, which is good. They still going to the sea and fishing and eat a lot stuff from the coconuts, because they can drink, they can use the coconut to cook, to prepare meals. They still eat a lot of roots. Very primitive. Some of the players still living from the land, everything that grow from the land.
Because I feel like you done your job over there. Like you build a footballing style there. Like as I say, like you are a pioneer for Solomon Islands and what you do in there as well. And taken from basically like a broken club into a professional club where I could have saw it could have been successful, like winning that Champions League, and you're just building it from your hands. You have to turn that. How can I say the mentality? How did you deal with the mentality of the players?
Yeah, so that is a big step, yeah, because the positive thing is they love football. Yeah, they love, absolute love, and they connect with me very well because the connection they admire so much about the Brazilian style, and they call here they are very known as a Brazilian country in the Pacific. Solomon Islands is a Brazilian style, Brazilian island in the Pacific. So they play all the time. Like the education system is quite hard for a lot of kids, and a lot of kids still not going to school, play all day, play in the streets. So they recognize that in Brazil did that in the past. Brazil in some areas is still doing this, but a lot of areas in Brazil is developed, so we don't see much like that anymore. But in the back in the days, Brazil is based by that, by playing street, which Solomon Islands the same. So that connection about mind was easier, but that was my key to use that idea, that conception, and bring them in a professional environment where we need to follow rules, where we need to follow time, because that's a big challenge for them, because they still live in community. So sometimes they need to look after the family instead of come for the training. They need to prepare some foods for the family instead of come for the training. So that was a big change for them. But as soon they start to get some cash as well, that for them is like you start to see more, this is my work. This is what I can do to survive, to help my family, then start to build like that. Because we had at that time, we had 2 clubs. We had more clubs that pay the players, because the majority with the national clubs, they pay some players, and the players, especially players for the national team, players more with a bigger reputation. Yeah, they get some good money over there. But our club, no one. They just play because they love the game.
Yeah.
And so that mentality is day by day, teaching every single thing that we learn since from our childhood. Basically little rules that we adjust and adapt in our lifestyle. So it's a day by day work, actually. Routine, every single routine, for them to understand. Some stuff they have there because it's part of their culture in some ways. For example, they are very religion people. We used to pray before the training, after the training. So we had some kind of rules, some kinds of the routine in the team already. So I need to adjust and adapt in the professional way to use those tools, but to be more professional with them, to keep that simple values that is very important for them and make it different for us, but then for them to understand as well this professional environment needs more discipline. Yeah. So it was a big journey, day by day, for us to build a new routine for them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I followed you closely, because you're not like a normal coach/manager. You're able to adapt to the different cultures of like the country and the players, and that's what I admired about you, because you can able to adapt. Even because if you got a different coach, I think the coach wouldn't adapt to the country as well, like the religion part into the training session.
Yeah, Anthony, this is a big thing for me. For me as a person, for me as a person, as a professional. For me, is one thing that I always try to be careful, and from my experience around in different countries, normally I used to go to the countries and delivery courses and try to engage with local people. So this is the biggest thing for me that makes a lot of difference. Like, because I'm coming from outside, my first step, I need to engage with them. I need to understand them first. Before I come to my rules, and try to push them to follow my rules, my lifestyle. Like, there's no possible. And then always have that confrontation, that fight against cultural fight. So for me, it doesn't work like that. Yeah.
And the next one is that I think that you're the one who started this South America, bringing in the South American flair, like South American players. So how did you able to convince these South American players to come and play in the Solomon Islands? How did that all start, basically, bringing these players?
Yeah, as you know, Brazil is a big country and so many players. We have many different levels of the players. Some players, they try to be success in the country. Some players want to have a success career outside. Some of the players that sometimes don't get contract in the clubs, but they are open for any situation, any experience. Some players, they try to keep playing, but they want to have some international experience in their life. So it's all depends on the profile that you need to find those players. So I was try to be very careful, because I know very well my country, and I know that for me to take some players from Brazil and take to Solomon Islands, you need to be very careful. You need to be very particular profile to come all the way and adapt in that lifestyle. So I was being more in touch with some of my friends back to Brazil. Some of the players had some conversation. The first thing that I said, that when I contacted, that I found a player profile that could help me over there. The first thing is be very clear, very honest of them. Try to explain with some local experience for them to feel that they are living that kind of environment already. So I try to make them understand very well the reality before they come to Solomon, and work very well. I got 3 players in my second year and 3 players in the third year, and I didn't have any problem because this system that I create to select the players, because I knew some of the players could come, and in 1-2 weeks they like, nah, I cannot stay and need to leave. So I was be aware about that, but I was very careful to select or to invite players that I know that was could engage that environment, to accept that environment, because when you leave your country to play with your dream, to be a success player, you create a lot of stuff in your mind. When you comes to see that situation, you need to understand that you're not going there. You're not going there just to create a better career for you, but in a lot of ways you create a better understand of life going there. So you appreciate much more different things than before after you have experience like that, because it's a very simple country, simple life, and you need to understand as well that you are bringing a different values for them, because they love the sport. They see you as a Brazilian as a role model for them. So I was very careful about that, and thankful that is the 6 players I had was very helpful. I'm in touch until today, and they really, all they have is very positive memories from that time.
Yeah, that's good. And next one is that inside man of a coach, basically, like, is coaching that really is stressful and tiring, and does coaches even sleep as well, because you got so much to do? Basically, you're managing a whole club, you're managing the players, you manage everything, and I think people would like to know, like, what is it like for a day-to-day life as a coach, basically?
About that, even sometimes we have a chat with my wife about those experience, because like, I'll not say every day, but every week we comes memories from that time. And basically I had 12 to 14 hours every day working in the club. Whoa. 12 to 14 hours every single day. Like in the island, in Solomon Islands, like 5 o'clock in the morning, is the sun is already up. 5 o'clock in the morning. So I used to get up like before 6, because it's very warm country all year. All years like over 30 degrees whole year.
Oh wow!
So and the sun is up very early. I really enjoy the early weather. After 8 9 o'clock is burning, like it's hot the whole day. So then I start my day with the futsal there. I had a training early in the morning, like before 7. I had a training, and then I start to have a training. Some days I had a training with the football players in the morning, early in the morning as well, and then afternoon training. So I used to drive. We used to finish 4 o'clock. 3 to 5, 5:30. We need to finish the training until put everyone in the truck and drive back. I was getting back home around 7 p.m. So that's the routine every day. Plus, then when you get back home, you try to like have a shower and relax for dinner. And then night time as well, always you take your time to prepare, to plan, to think about the next day, the next week, the next month. So it was about planning. So my routine was quite long, but I'll not say it's stressful. Yeah, it was stressful, but it was long, but it was something that I love to do. So we could every day you feel that you are doing good thing for them.
Yeah.
You are so, because that wasn't that, it was tiring, but it wasn't stressful. Like it was because it brings the enjoyment, enjoyment of every day for you to be able to help local people. That's the That's the main thing. It's not just about that job, but any job that you do, if you do with love, if you are helping others and doing with your love, man, it's like you have much more energy, to keep going, doing. So I think it works like that for me. Doing like 12, 14 hours every day was tiring physically, but I was feeling so well, because I could help them, doing more and more. And then in my third year, I was involved with the kids. That's a big another area that I did a lot in terms of developing, creating, training, and it was amazing. But my day was long days, game on the weekend. Try to take one day on the weekend, just try to relax with family. But some family, or some even be engaged with some local players. But that was my routine every day. Yeah.
Oh wow, damn. And the next one is that you do like coaching for the OFC as well. Plus, now you're with FIFA. How you feel like you're part of the OFC and also with FIFA as well, doing these courses, because that's big and huge, and you're making wavelength throughout the path as well. People's hearing your name, you're making your stamp basically in the world game, basically.
Definitely. Since I started in 2014. For me, it was a very surprised and very happy, because that was happening. When I came to New Zealand in 2011, I couldn't speak any English words. So English was very new for me. And then coming to New Zealand, learn the English language, and in 3 years' time, it was less than 3 years, when they nominate me to be able to deliver a course. English for me was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. And so after that, then I start to travel. I pretty much have been to like every single island, every single country in Oceania. Sometimes for tournaments, sometimes for delivery courses, and for me it's very. For me, it's a pleasure. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be around, engage with people. But for me, it's more about that bringing like some knowledge, some different experience for them. They want to build, they want to create, they want to grow in football, in futsal. But for me, just I'm very happy just to be able to go and help them and give some different knowledge, different way of see the futsal development, and just to see they enjoy, they take that information, they applying back to their own people, their own country. Yeah, this is amazing. Like, I'm very thankful for this opportunity that UFC gave me and FIFA as well. And now I keep going, doing my best for them. I still be in touch weekly with some federations that are around, because I'm working direct with them, try to improve their development officers, for them to be able to teach their own coaches. For me, it's a very excited part of my life, and very happy to be able to do that.
Yeah, and do you see Oceania football growing? Is it growing in your term? Is it getting better as well in the Oceania, the football terms in the Oceania?
Oh yeah, since I got here, I can see a big improvement. Thank you for everything what OFC is doing, going to the countries, delivery courses, improve coaches, improve people from the administration part. Everything is affecting the development, like in positive way. We have the previous, like the results you can see, because the Champions League was dominated by Auckland City. Yeah. So then, until Team Wellington, another team here from New Zealand, they start to take control. But then last year, or last competition, we had two teams from New Caledonia.
Yeah.
So then you can see like, oh, something is changing, something is doing different. And then you have another club in Tahiti. You had a club in Solomon, have a club in Fiji that went to the semi-final, had a club in Papua New Guinea, like in Vanuatu, they are improving. So you can see, like the competition is getting stronger and harder, especially for New Zealanders. When you see the national teams as well, like before, New Zealand was dominating. Now New Zealand is getting challenging. New Caledonia national team, Papua New Guinea, even Solomon Islands, Fiji. So they have some foreign coaches. So then, everything is, I can see in different areas improving, especially in development as well, because I believe the next few years we will have more surprises here. We understand that the pandemic holds in terms of international competition, but it's not just here, affects all the planet. But I mean, I can see a big improvement, and I believe we have some surprise for the next few years.
Yeah, and the important one was, how did you deal with the COVID and the pandemic for yourself personally, basically?
That moment, I was, I can say I was disappointed, because in terms, for me, for my career, that period I was in New Caledonia, I just started 3 months of my new job over there, and I came back to New Zealand to get my visa sorted. To get back to New Caledonia. And when I came here to New Zealand to get my visa to get back to the French country, the pandemic happened. I couldn't fly out. I couldn't get back. The France consulate embassy, they closed because of the pandemic. They couldn't process any more visas. So then affected me a lot. Then we changed the plan to stay in New Zealand. But then affect me for me to keep going in New Caledonia. But in the other side, helped me a lot, because New Zealand managed very well the pandemic, and we didn't have any much problem. Like we had a lockdown for a couple months. After that we had a normal life in all country. We got affected in some international imports, like all the countries, but apart of that, we have the normal life here. So now I got a job at the beginning of the year in a football club, and we are in normal life here. The only thing is we cannot fly out, international flights, in Oceania. The international OFC, the international competition was closed since last year. Nothing happened last year. Nothing happened this year. This was the big challenge in terms of competition. But apart of that, we have a normal life.
That's great. The next one for you is that, what country would you like to explore, like, next? You love to explore next.
So we have my goal is to have a work here, to keep going work here in football, but it's a long term. I want to explore Europe. This is my main goal since I left Brazil, to come to New Zealand, get involved here, get involved in Oceania region. But my next step, I definitely would like to create an opportunity for me in Europe. I don't have any specific country in Europe, but if we have a football country, then it would be great, like England, like Italy, like Spain, like France, like Germany, like those countries with the very traditional football culture. For me it would be great, but definitely I would like to put my life in Europe,
And do you ever go back to Brazil, like to go back to teach like other kids as well back at home?
If I want to go,
yeah. So basically, do you go back to Brazil to put like knowledge back to the kids? Yeah, back in Brazil.
So I went when I came to New Zealand. After 3 years, I went back to Brazil. So then, I had schools that I used to work. My ex-club, like everyone in touch, because when I went back, for me to share with them. So I start to do some speeches in schools. So then when I came back here, so now I haven't been to Brazil for almost 5 years. So then, because the pandemic happened, as everything go online, online improved a lot. So they start to contact me to have some live speech with them. So schools, clubs, they keep in touch for me to give back my experience with them. The good thing for me is to be able to talk to students in schools. For me, I really love it. I really love to share my experience with the young people and just to show them how much they can do. Every single one got the potential to do so much. Because sometimes they look at you like, they put you up there, but you can create the same way or even better. So I really enjoy when I have opportunity to talk to students for teenagers. But I mean, still be in touch with Brazil, try to help in any way that I can. Yeah.
And this one's an important one. Do you think that players from the Oceania, besides from New Zealand, are afraid to go to abroad because they can't adapt to the country and miss their families?
So this is the one thing that is getting more and more popular, and I think because all the technology that is helping as well. But in terms of technically, we have so many good players. They can explore. They can go differently. Okay, but then again, is we have young talents. We have so many young talents in the islands. So many, because and they have one thing that some countries losing is the passion. The passion for the game. So we have so many people like that here. But then is the challenge to be away, to find a specific person to fight and stay away from home, stay away from family, to put their lives in development countries, which they don't have much rules. In some islands, grow up with that freedom. freedom, in play, on the field, off the field. So that's the challenge. But I believe we will see more and more players around from the Pacific, I believe, in the future. But we have some good players here that I believe we can give example to the others, and not just here in New Zealand, but in the Pacific. I believe it will be, I think more now hold everyone because of the pandemic, but after that, I believe we will be more common players around in different countries. Yeah.
Okay, and just the last one is that, what is your big goals, basically, this year? What's your main goals?
Yeah, if you think about this year, big goal, because at the moment I'm working in the club here, a football club, and doing work for OFC. So I have pretty much two jobs. That my club here, our big goal for this year, 2021 or 2022, for us to get promoted and go to a national level in New Zealand. So this is a big goal in terms of club, in terms of professional, in terms for me to put my name in short period in national competition in New Zealand. So this is one of my goal. In OFC is my goal is we have some targets to help to support the countries, and at the moment I'm working direct with 4 different countries. So I want to have 5, 6, 7 countries working direct with from FC to countries in the Pacific. So as more I work with them, better will be for me, and better will be for them as well. So I'm trying to engage more and more for those countries in terms of OFC job. So then from that we will be automatic. My name, my reputation, OFC's reputation will develop automatically. Yeah.
No, I would say thank you for this interview. Thank you so much. Just take your time out from your busy schedule.
Thank you for contacting me, Anthony. I'm more than happy to share when people be in touch. Try to find as well in my schedule, find a little time for me to be able to share, because this is important as well, because we live here so far away from the center of where people following Europe, South America, the big competitions. So I think this is part of my job, try to share, try to put the name of the countries around OFC with some clubs here in Oceania. So it's more I share some stories. Probably some people you see will connect with some different people around there. So this is one part of my job. So thank you for your contact as well.
Is there anything you want to say, lastly? Anything at all?
No, just like I said, just thanks. I think it's this kind of interviews I try to make effort for me to be able just to promote here, because it's some region that really helped me for my name. So for me, the only way to give back is when you have this chance to promote, to talk to people from outside of OFC region. I believe this is one of the reasons that for me to came here, to be able to promote in that way. So thank you for your time. I'm more than happy to, if you need anything in the future, just let me know, okay?
Cheers. Me personally, I think you're a talented coach, honestly, because I've been following you and I was praying you getting like the big jobs as well, because I think you got so much to give in this game. You already made your stamp in the Oceania, in the other regions, and I know you definitely make a stamp in New Zealand, definitely by far.
Just my curiosity, where do you follow this kind of stuff? Like in social media?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. And what's the next step? What do you do with this interview?
So basically, I just post it on YouTube and people can just watch through it as well. Plus, I got a Facebook page as well where people follow the page as well. And if people want to know more about the football, they can hear about your stories and stuff like that. Even players, I get contacted from players abroad as well, and they want to know what's the Oceania like. So it's just these stories that really tune in and get Oceania known, because Oceania, there's people who don't know what is Oceania. They think it's just irrelevant basically to the game and to the world. But I believe it's got so much potential to do more. Because, for example, like Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, New Zealand, you look how they play. They're strong, they're fast and quick. And I think they could be any match of any team, especially in not just in Asia, South America. They can be dominant in Europe as well. So I believe Oceania has got so much potential. It's just basically we have to come together, make a structure for it, really put ourselves in there to make this football an Oceania known and good.
Thanks for your thoughts, because pretty kind of you, and especially seeing their way, for me shows that you really follow here, because exactly what I think as well.
It's like, because I'm from England and I do these tests, like I ask people, do you know Oceania? They never even heard the word of Oceania. They think it's like, what, just a water drink or something like that. That's kind of made me very frustrated. Like, it's like you didn't know your geography, you didn't know this region, and I feel very bad for it. And that's why I start watching it, I start following it, because I can see the passion in the Oceania, such real and raw. And plus the way they're living as well, they're always smiling, the players. In any bad situation, they're always smiling and just carry on how life is. And that's what drives me to do this. Like, I want to put it on the map, show what's this about, basically.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you for doing that. Yes. Because really, people deserve here. People here from Oceania, definitely, they need to be more exposed. But these kind of jobs that we really appreciate, that when you meet people like you, that not even living here, but keen to expose them, to show the stories, and we need to be thankful for you, man.
And it's not just it's just not the players as well. It's also the coaches as well, because the coaches, I know there's not much education in the region and the financial aspects, but also I want the coaches to do well as well. I want them to get noticed as well, even if they goes abroad for a month. That would be such a lifetime for them to learn so much as well, and to bring it back to the region, bring it back to the club. Because I know that they will give something to the players. So it's also the coaches as well. Like, even coaches, if they're coming abroad as well and changing the way of life in the region, well, giving their style of play and education to the coaches as well, that's also a plus as well.
Yeah, I totally agree.
No,
That's
but
good. No, thank you, Anthony.
yeah, thank you for this interview and taking the time out. And I wish you every success. And I know it will be a success for you and your reputation as well. And I know you definitely one day will come to Europe and make that stamp as well.
Then we can meet personally, yeah?
Yes, definitely. I enjoy your stories, definitely.
Cool. Thanks so much, yeah? Cool. Anthony, thanks so much, yeah?
You too,
All the
thank
best.
you. You too. And cheers and bye.
Okay, see you, bye.